What's up, Bills? J-Dog back to knock out some more goddamn questions. And today's questions, we're going over the video. Best albums from 2003. Best Niflheim influence band the posers are clueless about. So, yeah, actually, I was kind of curious. I did scroll a little bit through the questions on this one because as I peeked at it, I just saw people putting their favorite 2003 albums out in there, what they thought the best, and definitely going down memory lane because a lot of the stuff, other than the classic years like 89, 90, shit like that, I kind of like don't pay attention too much to years. When someone says like, yeah, no, 96, 97, 2000, 01, 03, 2010, it's kind of like, I don't know what the fuck even came out that year. I mean, I know I like at least something in there. So it's kind of cool seeing some of the ones in there. Oh, yeah, I like this one. I like this one. Oh, this one I remember I didn't like, etc. So I did look at them a little bit. And 905 views on this fucking piddly ass video. So couldn't even hit the 1,000 again. 131 comments. So the first one I did get to was Igloo Major. Shout out to you, Bra, because I don't recognize you at all. He's basically saying he just saw first part is I gotta read off goddamn shit here. Saying he saw Merciful Fate a couple weeks ago and that he thought it was great, but he could see them not play. Yeah, they played down the '90s songs, like I said, and you can see how that's a bummer. But now for a question. Do you like anything by Impaled Nazarene? I know they started as a more violent war metal leaning band and then changed towards a more hardcore punk influenced sound. After that came the more party metal rock and roll albums. So any favorite eras or albums? Yeah, actually, it's funny you bring that up because every time Impaled Nazarene kind of gets brought up, my take on them is kind of like not the popular opinion because all the tough guy black metal guys, they like the first two albums, the Toll, how the hell you pronounce it, and the Ugra, I can never pronounce their albums, but the first two albums, I do like those albums. I can't say I listen to them very often. I don't really consider them total jammers. I like them for the uniqueness where it was, a black metal band that didn't sound like anybody. It was a totally unique black metal band. Just like I'd say, like, for example, like Sabati Vogue from Japan. Fucking love it. I just consider it a black metal album. It doesn't sound like Dark Throne. And like, that's so goddamn annoying to me when people, unless it's got just screechy fucking vocals and a uptuned guitar, it ain't black metal. That's horseshit in my book. So, it was cool, like, to hear another band that's like a black metal band, but just totally different sounding than anybody else. But so I like those two albums for that sound, but I can't say it's something I listen to all the time. And when when I do listen to them, which is I'd say every 3 to 5 years, I toss those on. So not super regularly, and I enjoyed it, but I'm ready to move on to the next listen when it's over. It's not like hit replay. But for me, Impale Nazarene, the ones I enjoy the most, my favorite album is Rapture, actually, which was like a black and punk album. And then I like Absence of War Does Not Mean Peace a lot too, which was a punk, blackened, kind of like upbeat heavy metal, like I guess happy riff, kind of upbeat in a sense, but lack of better. But I thought that was a great album. After that is the next one. After that, All That You Fear. That sounds familiar. I remember listening to it and thinking it was decent. I remember it being like it was in the same vein as Absence of War. Whatever the next one is like, I think it's All That You Fear. I could be wrong on that. It's been a long time since I heard it, but I remember it being just not as strong song wise. Same principles they had. Whatever, because yeah, like just like you said, it's funny. They kind of like Dark Throne in a sense. They have like multiple genres throughout the band, and that was the genre I kind of liked was the punk and black stuff. Nothing that I've ever heard do I think sucks, but I got to be completely honest. The last three albums or so, I don't even know if I've ever listened to them. Pretty sure I haven't. I don't even know what the latest one was. When they played Maryland Death Fest, I watched a song or two. I got to be honest, I didn't really like the sound, like the guy's vocals and shit. I thought it kind of sounded like shit. Here's the two songs I walked in on, so I was kind of like wasn't feeling it live when I saw that. I think it was in 2016. I want to say. Um, but yeah, Rapture's my favorites. Absence of War is next. First two for nostalgic reasons, and then other ones. The Suomi, Finland's good. It's been a while since I listened to it. Motor Penis and all shit. It's all good shit. You know what I mean? But and then what you said, the kind of like the rock. What'd you call it? I think party metal rock and roll. Which is a pretty good description. That style was kind of like that was the stuff I knew though and heard the least of. When I heard it, I'm like, eh. Like I said, I never put anything by Impale Nazarene that I thought was just utter trash, but just definitely stuff I'm like, eh. I don't need it type of deal. Manual Schizo Disc. Favorite from 2003 has to be Reduced to Ashes. Reduced to Ashes from Deeds of Flesh. So that's the '03 album. So that was the first one that was the last Deeds of Flesh album that I could kind of like, for lack of better terms, can tolerate. Because the last one I liked was the one before that, Mark of the Legion. But Reduced to Ashes, it at least still sounded like Deeds of Flesh, especially like Eric's vocals and stuff, as opposed to like, there's some later ones I put out. I'm like, literally had no idea who the fuck it even was. So Reduced to Ashes still at least sound like Deeds of Flesh. But I've listened to it, I want to say probably 3 times in entirety. I just remember being bored each time. So, but yeah, 2003, yeah, that sounds about right. Question: what do you think is the worst year for death metal? I don't know exact year, but it'd have to be because it's definitely not going to be '80s or early '90s. I mean, those were the primo years. But if you added it up, maybe definitely something in the 2000s or like let's say late '90s. Like you could say like 96, 97, 98. Now I know there's primo shit to come on there. Like I'm pretty Cannibal Corpse Vile. That was '96. First death metal album I heard, so one of my all-time favorites. But what I'm saying is the reason why I say might they say '96. Other than that, and I mean I'd have to sit there and think, what else? What other great albums by death metal came out in '96? I can't think of anyone else all the time. I'm sure there is shit. I'm just saying. That's what I would say. '97, same thing. Didn't Deicide Serpents of Light come out? One of my all-time, if not all-time, favorite records. So, but other than that, what is there? 2 or 3 other things that I like. I mean, Mortician. Looking back on Zombie Apocalypse, was that '97? So like that too. '98. What was in there? Death metal wise. Trying to think what's something I really liked from '98. Death metal that came out. I know there's shit, but I can't even think of anything. Bottom line is, it'd have to be one of those years, or let's say, just throw out a random year, 2006, because what was coming out there, you can't say like 89, 90, 91, 92, 93 even. 93, I'd say 88 to 93, those are the primo years. So anything outside of that, you can argue, but I would say the worst years, whoever has for each person would be like, when I added up, since you said death metal, what year had the least amount of releases that I liked? Like you'll throw out a year like, let's say 2017. You're like, I don't know, there were like 2 death metal releases I liked. Not saying that's the case, but if you did the math and you looked everything up, whatever year that is at the least amount, that's what I would say it is. But some of the 2000s, or like I said, it's some because I know there was kind of like a drought there in the later '90s for death metal where bands were changing. Uh, you had bands like Grave, like for example, what the fuck was Grave putting out in '97? I mean, was that Hating Life? I'm not saying that came out in '97, but whatever year that was, after Solus, so '95, '96, '97. I mean, that was complete trash. What was Unleashed putting out? I'm sure nothing good. And Doom, God only knows what fucking crap album they were on in like those later '90s years. So you get what I'm saying? Even the bands that were good, Domination, which I'm not a fan of by Morbid Angel. What year was that? That 95, 96? Sounds about right. That was trash in my book. A lot of bands were changing, some of the greats. So let me know, Devils. Add it up. What's the crappiest year? I'm curious what you guys think. I would have to do the math and like metal archives each year, I guess, what death metal albums came there, and then just tally it up. That's how I'd have to figure it out if I had to give a solid answer. But that's how I would define it myself. What would be considered the shittiest year for? We're specifically talking about death metal. That's what he said. Yeah, Abby Simmons is familiar with Mordat. See that? Fuck yeah. Says they're fucking killer too. He slash she. From what I remember, he slash she gets a kick out of that. Everyone kind of keeping it a secret if it's a boy or a girl. I'm going with chick. I've never met a dude named Abby. But if you are, sorry about that. But I'm just saying everybody in my family and people I'm related to, they're all chicks that are named Abby. So. Oh, Vince Flintcroft. Yeah, see everything got Disgorge Necro Holocaust is a good one from 2003. Damn straight it is. Damn straight it is. Scorch Mexico. The Necro Holocaust album, yeah, is a really good album. It's been a while since I listened to that one. Maybe I'll bust it out again. And Gore Bless the Worms. That was another one because the first two are my favorites, but those 2 albums, yeah, no one really brings up. Those are great. Gonna fucking keep that in mind and bust those out for another listings. It's been shit. I probably haven't listened to those in a few years. Ladle over 90. Question: what is your plan when you run out of room for music in your office? You know what? I don't even know. That's in the back of my mind. Worst case scenario. I mean, I have a full house, full basement. I could technically put shit in sleeves or boxes and store it somewhere else. I don't like that because I'm kind of like I know the word be other than fucking this weirdo. Like all my shit in one place, and just for archiving purposes, in case anybody comes over and looks at it. Not that anybody does, but maybe if they did, not that they give a fuck. They just like have it all in one location. But I mean, one thing I have been kind of doing lately is kind of going through stuff where I'm just like, do I really need this? Like, I'll listen to it. I'm like, thought it was kind of boring when it first came out. Maybe I got it because it was a cooler year, and I'm like, I put it on. I'm like, I can't see myself listening to this ever again. Now, some stuff I know I own now, and I know I've never listened to, and I probably never will listen to. Like, for example, like a certain pressing like Cannibal Corpse record or Merciful Fate or Deicide. But I want to get rid of those because those bands I collect. You know what I mean? So it's like I didn't buy it to listen to it. I just throw on the CD or any LP version. Yes, I have versions I'm not going to get rid of, but I have it because I collect it. It's my favorite band. But it was just a random band. Let's just say, I don't know, something like a death metal band that came out in 1994. Heard it, thought it was okay, and I'm like, why do I kind of even own this? Like, I thought it was okay at best. I haven't listened to it in 10 fucking years. And then, but what I do is I re-put it on, unless it's like, I don't know, I really, really enjoy this, which I have. If I'm just like, I've been kind of like getting rid of that stuff to clear up space because I am getting tight on room. So I'll continue to do that for the next few years. But worst case scenario, yeah, I can always store it somewhere else in the house. But yeah, that has been in the back of my mind. Corey Rat Posa, hey J-Dog, Masticate to Dominate from Gorgasm was from 2003. And if I remember correctly, you're a fan of that too. I am. I don't like that one as much as Stabbing Orgasm and Bleeding Profusely, but I do like it. It's a good album. In fact, I think I liked everything by Gorgasm. They have Masticate to Dominate. Don't they have one other? I think so. I could be wrong. But yeah, I do like that one. Have the CD. Don't like it as much, but I didn't realize, yeah, 2003. Yeah, that sounds, I would have thought it was more like 2005, but yeah, I guess 2003, because, yeah, Bleeding Profusely, I remember when that came out, so that would have been probably that '01 then? So that sounds about right. So I remember when that was the new release by them. Dave Coolross is on them, and I remember when it came out. I don't remember if it was Cole Jones or Matt Harvey was telling me about it because I was talking about it with somebody at a show, and I think it was at Ohio Death Fest because I think Gorgasm was supposed to play that year, and they canceled, and they were talking about the new Gorgasm. I guess Dave Coolross. This is what I heard. I have no idea if this is true or not, and again, is it cheating? I don't really give a shit either way. Supposedly in the studio, he played the drums, like the pedals. He used his hands, so they're like kind of ripping on him, kind of just talking about it, debating it, I guess. And I just kind of heard, oh yeah, okay, that's kind of weird because can he play it live if he had to? I mean, he plays for bands all the time live. I don't know if he played with Gorgasm live. I'm not sure, but he's on that. Seems around that time he was playing for tons of bands. Beloved Creation, played Suffocation, Despise the Sun. He's done a lot of guest stuff, but I mean, he's definitely played live. I don't think I've ever met Dave Coolross. I don't even know if I've ever even seen Dave Coolross play live. I'm trying to think. The first year I saw Malevolent Creation, I was on the Will to Kill tour. Was he on that? I don't think so. Definitely never met him because I would have had my stuff signed. But anyways, that was the scuttlebutt at that time. In case you guys didn't know, in case you happen to give a fuck. But I remember somebody saying that, and don't quote me. I want to say it was Cole Jones because he's a drummer too. I think it was the year Exhumed played that they didn't play, that Gorgasm didn't play. They're supposed to. So I kind of that's what stuck in my mind how I remember that release when it came out. But again, if that's untrue, don't fucking shoot the messenger. Just what the fuck I heard. Ricky Jones, hey J-Dog, thank you for saying I come up with good questions. No problem, man. It's called like I see it. I try to put my noggin to good use on this channel. God damn it, good, because better topics to talk about theoretically. Question: what are your thoughts on whey protein? Is it good, or is there anything better? If you're going to use a protein powder, nothing. No, but whey protein's the way to go for sure. Um, yeah, it's good. I mean, I just want to just completely rely on that as all your meals. What I use whey protein for is a convenient meal in a sense. But you never just like shake it up unless you're on like a ketogenic diet type of thing. Just shake up a scoop of protein powder and just drink it. Mix it with something else, like some oatmeal or something on oats and water, or you can blend it up with a banana, things like that. So it's kind of a meal, and use that as when it's inconvenient for you to get a meal. So let's say you work and you get one lunch break, right? But you're eating 5-6 meals a day. You're on that schedule, and you're going to get another protein feeding in. Save your salad meal for when you're on your lunch break, but then had a shake made up Yeah, you could do like 2 scoops of fucking protein powder with like 1 banana, 1 cup of oats, tablespoon of peanut butter, right? Mix with water, blend it all up. It's already in a shaker cup, keeping like a cooler. And then let's say 2 hours later, after your lunch break or whatever, because you don't get another lunch break, you could just pound that on the job. Things like that. So you use it as a convenient meal. Or when you're really trying to put on weight and you're having a hard time getting the meals in, you're on meal 3 or so. You got your 3 meals in. Fourth meal, you're like, fuck, I don't even have an appetite for it yet. It's easy to fucking just blend something up and put it up. But as far as, I mean, all the research like that, basically, it's a great source of protein. The only downside is it digests very, very fast. So if you're not having another meal for 2 to 3 hours, there's that. But I mean, if you're mixing it with carbs and fats, especially like I say, if you want some all natural peanut butter or something, that should slow down the digestion, that and fiber. So oats and a banana in there, the fats, that should help slow the digestion rate of whey protein, because whey protein isolate and stuff, it's like digested in your bloodstream, the amino acids within like 30 minutes, it says. That's great if you're like, if you train fasted and like you have like that protein like post workout, that's great because now you got amino acids going into your bloodstream right after training for repair. But you wouldn't want that throughout the day, because if your next meal is not for another 2-3 hours, like what the fuck? Now you don't have another supply of protein being digested for additional amino acids for another 2 hours. You know what I mean? Because the other ones are 30. So that's the only downfall. But mixing it with the other foods, like I said, and it's making it a full meal, that should slow it down to more than just half an hour. How much? Who the fuck knows? I don't think anyone knows. I mean, you can only guess, but you're not gonna be losing any gains or anything. I've done that shit for years. But yeah, no, whey protein. Don't like soy protein does fucking junk. Don't even buy that crap. And there's all these trendy crap, pea protein and stuff like that. I'm not saying they're completely useless. I know the vegans will get up in a fucking outrage. Oh, it's just as good. It's good. It's usable protein. It's complete. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. But it ain't better than whey. I can guarantee you that. 1,000% guarantee it's not better than whey. From Eric G, question, has Hells ever run into an issue where a company wouldn't print something because they found the artwork offensive? Last Days of Humanity regurgitation. I want to say yes, but I can't think of what. It's funny you say that, though. Like you put regurgitation in there. I literally remember Brian Baxter had a hard time, I'm almost positive, printing the first pressing of Regurgitation, Tales of Necrophilia, the CDs. He had a company that wouldn't do it. And I think he also had a problem printing one of the cock and ball tortures. I remember they had plants want to do them, but I just find that funny because you said use regurgitation as an example, and I think we didn't. Like when we pressed our C's and LPs, no problems whatsoever. Um, but us directly, hells, I know. Like I said, I know that example with Brian, and I know people that have like other labels. But us, I want to say we definitely have, but I can't think of what it was. Because both last days, no, nobody didn't say nothing. Regurgitation didn't say anything. No non-slaughter stuff was ever a problem. I'm trying to even think, because for me, I mean, I'm just so numb to it, I guess. Like, what else is? I mean, I'm not an idiot either. I can figure it out if you flash it from me. Like, I don't consider any of it offensive, but I can figure it out to what would be. Like, for example, I know why you mentioned Last Days and shit. But what else has Hell's done that looks that offensive? To me, Mortician, we done those all piece. I mean, if someone consider that offensive, I'm just what? I mean, I guess. I mean, over a Black Death LP or something like that, of course they would over that. But like, what else have we done that's offensive? Like the artwork and the covers. I mean, I guess I'm sure I'm thinking of forgetting something, but to me, I guess, and it all blurs together because I don't consider any offensive. We will do one goddamn more because we're approaching 20. Life Eternal. You ever thought about doing an album war series, kind of like the old album wars on Hellcast, but a series, pinning records each episode against each other, tournament style, to figure out the best metal records according to viewers? Yeah, not a bad idea. We can maybe start it up. We can start it up here. What do you want to start here? Was something that Craig definitely wanted to brought up because he doesn't even know we're listening to or like. Let's start with this one. The background. Incantation, Onward to Golgotha versus Incantation, Mortal Throne of the Nazarene. I personally like Onward to Golgotha the most. Mortal Throne would be next as far as albums. My favorite stuff is the demo recordings that Will Romer sings on. That's my favorite. But favorite album is On Mortal Golgotha, then Mortal Throne. But I have known people over the years where Mortal Throne is like older devils too, guys older than me when they were there when those came out and picked them up. That Mortal Throne's their favorite one. So yeah, put that in there. What do you think? Which album do you think is better, Mortal Throne, the Nazarene, or On Mortal Golgotha? Start that for an album wars. Put it in there, devils. We'll do the votes, and Ricky Jones or RJCJ Rock or David Land or somebody of that nature give up the fucking count. When the regular devils give the counts of votes, and yeah, we can maybe just do another one, and I'm just think of another band off the top of my head, or you guys can give me ideas of what bands you can think for album wars, right? At least something by Hemorrhage or something like that. Like I don't give a shit about doing Iron Maiden or something. Like, who the fuck about that? Because that's the way I see it. So yeah, we'll start with there. Let me know what you think, devils think, and then also put in there goddamn comments, questions, concerns, always for the fucking daily answer. See you tomorrow. Later, goddammit.